Well, actually, if you live in a place, you come to know pretty quickly that if, let's use Providence as an example, if Trinity Rep is busy, PPAC is busy, there's stuff going on at AOS 220, there's stuff going on at Vets Auditorium, the galleries downtown are active. It's hard to get a seat in a restaurant. It's hard to find a place to park your car. There's so much economic activity happening around the arts that it's pretty clear that the arts are having a major impact on our state's economy. And the numbers actually speak very strongly to that. The arts, when you factor in how much are directly spent by arts organizations, just the nonprofit arts organizations that we work with, it's literally over $100 million annually. If you factor in all of the economic activity that's happening around all of that arts activity, it's coming close to, and you factor in all the for-profit work that's happening in the creative economy that we enjoy here in Rhode Island, it's actually coming close to $750 million in economic activity in our state as a result of a strong and vibrant arts community. Well, I approach this question as sort of an investment question. If we take a limited amount of money and we invest it in the arts and culture, what do we get in return? I've talked about the fact that there's a lot of economic activity that happens when the arts are active, but there's a lot of economic activity that is happening that's sort of less visible. If you hire actors or musicians, these are people who live and work in the community. They then take the pay that they receive, they spend it on food and clothing and rent or mortgage payments. These are all things that are part of the economy that are a direct result of that initial investment. When you look at the State Arts Council grants, for example, every dollar that we give to an arts organization, according to the reports we get back from those arts organizations, generate $20 or $22 in return, money that they raise from other sources in order to carry out those activities. The arts are also providing a great deal of employment for individuals. So if we're funding a project with a very small amount of money, let's put this in context. The State Arts Council's appropriation in the state of Rhode Island budget is 0.07% of the state budget. So it's a minuscule amount, but in return for that, the amount of money that comes back into the economy is really quite significant. So there's a great return on the tiny amount of money that the state is appropriating to the State Arts Council. And the money that is then awarded out to communities throughout the state get used in those communities. They pay people who are living and working in those communities. They are contributing to the economy in their areas as well. Well, there's quite a range of stuff going on there. Let's see if we can tackle it one at a time. First of all, why are the arts important? I tend to talk about the economic benefit of the arts because it's the easiest thing for people to understand, but it is by no means the important issue relative to why we as a state, why we as a country support the arts. The arts are not only important to the quality of the arts are not only important to the economy of an area, they are critically important to the education of all young people and old people alike. They're critically important to the quality of life that we enjoy here in the state of Rhode Island. So let's deal with education first. A young person who does not experience the arts in a significant way as part of their regular education is only partially educated, in my opinion. They are losing quite a bit of what makes a full, well-rounded individual. The arts are an important part of learning about working alone, working as part of a team. The arts are important for academic ability. We find that the highest performing schools in the state are arts intensive schools. Two in particular, the Beacon Charter School in Woonsocket, the Jacqueline M. Walsh School for the Visual and Performing Arts in Pawtucket, are high on the list of every school when it relates to how well they do in testing and other factors. Kids who are involved in the arts when they're part of school learning are more engaged in their learning experience. They tend to be absent less. Oddly enough, or perhaps not oddly enough, their parents seem to be more engaged in their school activities because they're going to concerts, they're going to visual art shows, they're going to all the things that a student is involved in as part of their work in learning in the school. We're finding that the kids relate better to one another, and more importantly, they are using the arts to learn how to think more creatively. And creative thinkers, those kids who are problem solvers, tend to be positioned ideally for work in the 21st century workforce. Employers are not looking for people who can automatically do this or that task. They're looking for people who can think creatively about solving the problems and issues that they are faced with. So the arts are uniquely qualified to make that happen. In addition to which, the arts are uniquely qualified to help people understand the world in which they live. It's a great way to learn about different cultures and different peoples. If, for example, you're learning about Southeast Asia, what better way to learn about Southeast Asia than through the art of the Hmong tapestry artists and the like? And it is also a bridge between peoples. So we find that creative and cultural exchanges are the best way to initiate connections with other people. It's not unusual that two things happened to open up China to the West. There was a ping pong tournament, and there was the visit of the Philadelphia Orchestra. And those things have always been the first steps in building relationships with other people. The arts are also important to the soul of Rhode Island, and this is the argument that I love to use. That when I have already exhausted the role that the arts play in the economy, I like to say that the arts help make Rhode Island a special, meaningful place. Rhode Island is known for certainly the beautiful shorelines, the wonderful natural beauty that we have. But there is a creative vitality here that makes this an exciting place to live and to work. When corporations are looking for places to relocate, they are looking for good schooling, they're looking for beautiful and interesting places to be, and they're looking for cultural vitality. I used to tell the story that I heard about the Corning Glassworks company based in Corning, New York. They've been there for quite a number of years, but they were having trouble recruiting senior level people to move to Corning and work for Corning Glass, until they started to offer the opportunity for those senior executives to have a regular trip into New York City so that they and their spouses could have the cultural excitement and vitality that they yearned for, and that they found lacking at that point in Corning, New York. Now I have several friends in Corning, including one who runs a performing arts center in Corning, so it's not like that anymore. But the reason the Performing Arts Center in Corning, New York came about was because the community demanded it. We find things like the Wickford Art Festival. These are things that add a great deal of both vitality and community pride to the people of Wickford. It's a destination for a public that is looking for that kind of cultural vitality. It is important for the economy of the area. It's important for the artists to be able to showcase their work, whether or not they sell it. And of course, we hope they sell it. The Wickford Art Festival is a showcase for what is the best out there in the art. And you work very hard to make sure that only the best artists are included in the show year after year. That's something that people understand and trust your aesthetic and seek out opportunities to visit the Wickford Art Festival and some other festivals in the state because of the high quality of work. And that adds a great deal of cultural vitality to life in your area that not only exists during the period of time the festival is in operation, but also instills in the area the sense that there is a great deal of culture in this area. Look at the festival, but also look at the gallery and look at the other things, the artists who live and work in the community. So the more we have that going for us, the more this state is identified as a cultural destination. We have the newly passed exemption for sales tax for the sale of works of art anywhere in the state of Rhode Island. And that was designed to capitalize on the reputation that we have as a strong arts haven or center. Now we're trying to promote Rhode Island as a destination for people who want to sell their work or people who want to buy art. And eventually that will attract people to live and work here as well, which adds even more to the cultural vitality of our state.